I've got a very standard, fancy digital effects rack. The same kind of thing anybody in a big, fancy touring band would have, or a lot of guys who want to spend the money playing in clubs will have them. Digital electronics, a couple of pitch transposers, compressor, a couple of digital delays, and a reverb. I try to use these effects in a very different way than most guitar players use digital effects. Most people, they use the same old, boring, standard effects. They use, the chorus, the flange, they use a slap echo, which is nice. I use that. Slap echo. People use a long echo sometimes. And since there's a harmonizer, sometimes people use it to get a 12-string kind of sound with an octave up. And if they're adventurous, which I don't consider very adventurous, they use it maybe to do a fifth kind of harmony, get that what was that song? Was it by Yes, Owner of the Lonely Heart, with the solo in the fifths? You know, and those and variations on those are all you hear from most people, and those are pretty boring to me. So I've tried to create a lot of unusual special effects of my own, and I'd like to show them to you, not so much to encourage you to copy them, which you're welcome to use anything I have, anything that lets us express ourselves more is great, but to think up your own things, because people have only done a few things of what's possible. A lot more is possible with effects. I've developed a very peculiar effect that I do with the pitch transposer. I use the pitch transposer to be a third hand, or kind of like a movable capo that moves around while I play. Let me explain it to you. I've taken this ADA pitch transposer of mine, and I've set it up with a momentary on and off switch that takes it in and out of the circuit, so to speak, for a moment. So I'll set it to transpose the guitar signal, say up a fifth, up 7 half steps, with none of the original signal, and I can bypass that instantly. So with my foot, with a foot pedal, I can hammer on. Watch, I'll do it with my finger first. I can hammer on open E string to the 7th fret. Okay? But I can also do that, watch, no hands, with my foot. So it allows me to have an extra hand that can move around in my licks. And I can set it for different intervals, for octaves or fourths or any thirds, any interval. And I use all those intervals at different times. It's an interesting thing. I don't know of anybody else who does this except for a friend of mine, a guitarist in Atlanta, Georgia, Glenn Phillips, who's a great guitar player. Let's show an example of how I might use that. Mr. Dumble, would you play a little blues for me, please? I use it in all kinds of music. Here's a tune I wrote when I was a kid, actually. The first thing I wrote on guitar. It's kind of based on Scottish bagpipe music, pibroch music. And this technique allows me to do things that imitate bagpipes. Mr. Dumble? That's that effect, and I use it a lot, and it confuses the heck out of people because they see my fingers moving on the guitar, but they don't, what they hear doesn't sound like what my fingers are doing, and I've got some more tricks like that. Let's show another effect that let's show a lot of the effects that I do with this Eventide H3000 harmonizer, which is a great effect. It's a harmonizer, digital delay, echo, a lot of things built together, a multi-effects unit, and the great thing about it is it's really programmable, and the designers of this unit did what I like. They gave me access to really deep levels of programming, so I can program it to do all kinds of things, really funny things that I'd like it to do. For instance, backwards guitar. Let me show you how I can make myself sound like I'm playing backwards here. Let's take a look. Turn off that old distortion. And I can also even make myself backwards but an octave higher. It makes it sound like I'm playing much faster than I really am. Hear the difference of the octave up? Play a little rhythm guitar for me again, please. What key? G. G, play some, please. Very, very curious effect. Harmonizers make harmonies. This is a so-called intelligent harmonizer. There's several on the market now. There's something that's going to be popular for a while, I think. It listens to the notes you're playing. It has a pitch detection circuit, and it decides what note shift it's going to do to what it depending on what it hears to create Western harmony. If most people use this effect, let me show you how they'd use it. They'd use it to do a country lead, pretend they're in the Allman Brothers or something like that. Play me a little country in A, and I'll play some. You get the idea. Pretty standard kind of thing to do. I thought of one subtle kind of thing to do with this, which is I have it play the harmony, the Western diatonic harmony like that did, but I have it play it quite a bit quieter and a little bit later, so it's like a slap delay that's a different pitch. Listen, I have it set now for the D major scale, so if I play some notes in that, it's a little slap echo that's a different pitch, and I find it makes the music sound really rich and colorful and sounds like there's a lot going on. I'll turn it off for a moment, and I'll play a bit of, an old Grateful Dead improvising classic Dark Star here, and I'll play without that effect and listen how the guitar sounds. We'll just play a few bars, please. If I turn on this harmonizer effect, kind of a peculiar effect, it makes what I'm doing sound a lot richer. Give a listen to it with a little harmonized slaps. A subtle effect, but an effect that makes the music sound, I don't know if it comes across in this video, but certainly where I'm standing here, the music sounds a lot richer and a lot prettier with that kind of harmony effect in. And that's a pretty normal use of something, for a normal use of something very unorthodox. Something else I've done, since it can listen to what note's coming in and then decide how to shift it, I had the idea, wouldn't it be interesting if I could have the technique to skip around in octaves a lot more in really fast runs. So I said, well, I'll be lazy. I'll have this thing do it for me. So it listens to what note I'm playing, and if it hears an E, let's have a little distortion. If it hears an E, it shifts it up an octave. If it hears an F, doesn't shift it. F sharp, up an octave. G, doesn't. G sharp, up an octave, all the way up the neck. I bend a note, it yodels in octaves.